What is up, tubers? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight to continue our lake breakdown series for Lake Carr. I've actually been saying it wrong this whole entire time. Finally, someone let me know in the comments that I've been pronouncing it wrong. So it's Lake Carr or Bugs Island. So I'll make sure that I pronounce that right for those of you that are watching the videos. Sorry for all the confusion. Tonight, we're going to go out. We're going to that Palmer Point area that we've already been talking about, but we're actually going to go to the offshore spots this time, take a look from the web app, or not web app, but mobile Navionics app. We'll take a look at the contour lines and tell you guys why we think these are prime spots for offshore fishing. Let's go. Bye. All right, well, let's go back and let's jump back in here to Carr Lake, or what's always known as Bugs Island. I finally got some intel and been naming this lake the wrong thing. I've been calling it Kerr Lake. Didn't realize it was Carr Lake, so my apologies. I'm from Texas, so we're a little bit slow sometimes. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump in here to Palmer Point, and let's talk about the offshore hotspots. We're using the Navionics mobile app on this one. So if you're wondering what app I'm using the Navionics mobile app. And we're just going to focus on the Palmer Point area for right now, which is what we've been talking about. And if you missed those videos, just go out to the Lake Breakdown playlist, search for Carr Lake, and anything in there you'll find the different episodes that that match up to the different areas. So what we're going to do is we're going to do just like we did last time. We're going to start over here by the dam, and then we're going to work our way basically down to this boat ramp that's down here, and then we'll work our way back over and then back up to the dam. So let's go ahead and start. We'll just start right here, and let's talk about some things that we see here. Obviously, with the dam being there, any of these points that are close by are probably going to be pretty good because you've got a lot of current that's going to come through here. So we didn't mark this little point here, but I do like this point. This one right here. So I'll keep forgetting that I have my mouse here that I can use. But this point right here would be pretty good. But the one that we actually marked was right here. And if you notice, it's a hump that comes out. So if I zoom in here, you're really going to be able to see it. We've got a really good hump that's going on right in here. And then as we move down here, we've got another good hump that's right here. And then obviously some Navionics user has put a fish there, meaning that that's probably a fishing hotspot. I'm sure that those are probably community type humps that a lot of people know about them, but they're definitely worth fishing. I'm sure a lot of people fish this one. Maybe not as many people would fish in this area. You never know, but something to definitely take a look at. So let's go ahead and pull back. And now we're going to kind of go down. It's just really the last point on this side that I wanted to show you, and that's going to be this one right here. It comes out really, really good. Obviously, we'll talk about this one when we get into that area, but when we get over here to the Palmer Point area, this is the last point before we break off. This just looks really, really good. It comes out nice, big, flat here. Where I don't even know what depth we are here, about 6 foot. So real good flat, 6 foot, comes out, looks great. Even has another marker that's on it too. And look at the break that comes off this thing. You're 6 foot to 40 foot pretty quick. So definitely a good spot to go look at. Now let's go ahead and pull back here. We're going to cut across the lake, and we're going to start here where this little exclamation point is, and we'll cover basically all the way down to the boat ramp that's down in here. It's down closer towards this line. Then we're going to cut over and then come back up here. So let's go ahead and start right in here and see what we can find that's up here on this little cutout, I guess you could say, that comes out. Just a lot of good humps. It's really an underwater point that comes out. It's probably really rocky, would be my guess, but you've got some really good humps that are coming up on here. So let's look at this first one. This one's out here close to the main channel. Just looks money. Plus you've got another little creek channel on the back side of this thing too. So great place for them to come hang out, stage up, all that good stuff. 12 foot right here, money spot to go look at. You can also come over here and you start seeing them again. They come up here. This one's 5 foot. Really awesome hump as I move down. I also marked this one. I mean, this would be really good too. Really shallow hump that comes out here. But if you come over here, you've got a road bed that comes all the way up this way. And I would take a look at that roadbed, especially right in here, right off the edge of that island right in here. There could be some debris there and stuff like that going up to that hump. Just all kinds of goodness going on in here. I love these offshore humps. These are fun places to fish. You notice that if you look in here, there's all kinds of markers here. There's 3 different fish attractor markers that are going on right here in this side. And I think we marked these as offshore on the other section, so that's why you're not seeing them here. But this whole roadbed, make sure you're looking at this roadbed and make sure you're looking at these humps that come up, like this 10-foot one here. Even over here, I mean, this big shallow flat, they'll spawn on this kind of stuff. So you definitely want to go out here and take a look at this. They'll also feed up in these areas too in the fall when the bait fish, when they can push the bait fish into certain areas. There could be shell out here as well. Just all kinds of craziness that you could get coming off of something like that. So that is a high percentage area to go look at. So let's go ahead and scoot on down here. We'll stay on this side of the main island that comes out here, but really look at this point right in here. This one looks good too. Good flat all around it, and then a really sharp point that comes out just right there. So I imagine you got a little bit of a break. You may have some rock that's going on there. More than likely you're gonna have some rock that has that much break, but just a good spot to go take a look at. Let's go ahead and pull this back so you can see where I'm at. I've came down off of that point and I was coming right off the edge of that island. Not really right off the edge, but a little ways off the edge of the island is where that break is. All right, so then we're gonna come over here. We're gonna get back pretty much like in the saddle of this big island that's out here. And on this side of this smaller little island, I really like this little turn in that's right here. Really big turn, got big flat points on both sides of it. A nice little place for them to hunker down and then come up and feed. I just like that spot. Those are good looking spots, and I like the fact that it's really, I mean, it's huge, but it's a saddle between the two of them, and you've got this little deep spot that's just right here in between the two of them, so you're going to get some current going in there and stuff like that. I just like how that sets up. All right, and then moving over here, we're going to come off of this big flat that's out here, this underwater flat island, whatever we want to call it. But as we get out here, we've got this nice point that comes out that has a really good hump that's right here, and you can see it right here. There's a really good hump. You can also come out here. There's some pretty good breaks right here. So not only if you're finding fish around this hump, make sure to come over here and scan right around in here too and see what kind of things you can find right there around that break. So then we're going to move on up. We're going to go down a little bit further. I said we're going to move up and then we went down. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go down. So we're going to go down here. Next thing is to take a look at is obviously danger shallow. There's some good things in here. I probably should have marked a couple different spots here. One is obviously going to be this big, huge flat that comes out, this big point that comes out with a big flat top on it. That's going to be a good place to go look. Also at this hump over here, it's not marked. I don't know why I didn't mark it, but right here, this little hump, 3 foot, looks good. You could even come out here, 17 foot. There's a lot of good stuff going on right out here and right in here. The thing I like about this one the most is that not only do you get the hump, but you also get the roadbed that comes through here. And I think that roadbed is key because that's going to give you a lot more rock and debris and stuff like that to fish around. And so it's going to be a good spot to go take a look at. All right, so let's keep going down, see what else we can find in this area. Next thing, we've got a couple different things here. One, we've got a couple different humps. So we got a little hump that comes out here. Nice little break off. The top of that, let's look at the top of that. 12 foot. So I like that, comes out 12 foot all the way out here. So good looking little ridge here. Here's another ridge that comes out here, a ridge or an underwater point, but right in here too. And these are more than likely going to have some rocks somewhere around them, just because the way that they come out to that big point and the way that they're set up. But this one too right here, this one looks really good as well. 12 foot, comes out really good, has a big sharp break, just like the way that it sets up. Then we're going to come over here and take a look at this one spot right in here. Notice this point that comes out right in here. But what I like about it is if you notice, you clearly have some kind of a river channel or a creek channel or something going on right in here. and you've got a major break going on right here. So you've got this nice flat spot right here. And then you've got the ability for them to just tuck into deep water really quick, come back up here, tuck in, you know, you get it. So this is, to me, this would be a really good spot to go take a look at. You've kind of got the same thing over here too. It's just not as drastic, but right over here. So if this is working, flip to the other side and see if it works on the other side as well, because you just never know. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to move over, and we're going to go over here to this side and work our way back up to the dam. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, we will start this. This will be the steel point, I think is what we call it, area, but we'll follow that. We'll follow up with you guys on that on a different video section. So let's go ahead and finish this Palmer Point area in here. So the next spot is going to be right up here, another good offshore hump, pretty far out there, but the depth's pretty good, you know, 20, 25 feet. Love how it sets up. It's kind of close to the riverbed. There's a riverbed off to the left. You can see that. Plus this is like main lake. So you've got 70 foot of water close by, but really good, nice underwater humps that are out here. You've got one right here, which this one's really obvious, but also come over here and look at this small one too when you're out there. Those can be good places to look at. Also out here, you got this big long point that comes out of Kerr branch. This big long point that comes out, 20 foot, 18 foot, nice little hump out here at 18 foot. On this side, it breaks off to 32 feet. So that's a 16 foot drop in a very narrow section. So those are going to be great little humps, great little offshore humps, offshore points, whatever you want to call them, to places to go look at. So then let's go ahead and let's swing down here and let's see if there was anything down in here in this branch. Now, notice the contours are here. I mean, there's some, you could probably fish every one of these little points and have some success at some point in time. But I'm just marking the ones that to me look like more higher percentage spots. And the spot that I really liked in this little branch back here was right down here. You have a really sharp break here. You've got a really good flat that's over here off of the top of this point. And then off the edge of it, you've got this break. So setting up like out in here, see if they're on the break. And if not, fishing up here into the shallows and seeing if you can find the fish in those areas too. Could be something to look at. Also, that little point here, that 15 foot point, kind of tapers out. That could be a good little spot that they might set up in before they go back here to do their spawning and stuff like that. So any of these points, you want to look at those points, but I didn't see anything too crazy of points in there that I really wanted to mark for you. And I can't mark every single point, obviously. So I'm just going to mark the ones that look like they're going to be the higher percentage ones. Then as we move up here, clearly you want to take a look at this. Good little point here, but right here it says there's an obstruction here. Don't know what the obstruction is, if that's an underwater debris, if that's concrete, whatever it is, but obstruction to me means fish. So if you find an obstruction, definitely go and take a look at it and see if you can fish around it. Back in here, you've got this really good ledge going on back in here as well. So you've got this nice little flat area that they could spawn up in, and then you've got this nice little ledge they could set up pre-spawn, post-spawn, all out in here. I mean, this just looks, it looks good to me. It looks like it sets up very well. There's another one of those obstructions over there too. I'm going to back out here and kind of show you here in just a second where I'm at so I don't lose you guys. But as we come down here, there's another one of these really sharp ledges. Now look at this. This thing is 1 foot. Actually, it said 1 foot, and then I put my marker over it and it says, oh yeah, there it goes, less than 1 foot. So basically it's up and then it's a straight drop. So a really good little ledge going on right here off the edge of this point. Love it, looks juicy. Would definitely be a good place to go look for some fish. It says Jaws Beach. Not sure what that means, but that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and move on out. And before I do that, I'm gonna back up and show you guys where I'm at. So now I'm right here. I'm coming off of this branch. And the next thing I'm gonna do is come out here and look right in this little section right in here. So again, we've got an offshore hump, 7 foot, looks awesome. Definitely something I would go fish for sure. And then another one that you may want to look at while you're out here is you've got another one that's out here. See what the depth is on that one. That one's 24 foot. It's getting pretty deep, but definitely something that would be fishable. So if they're here on this little 7 foot hump, you know, go for it. But if they're not, don't bail out just yet. Scoot over here to the 24 foot hump and see if they're over there. All right, so I'm gonna back out. We're gonna keep going back up. And the next thing that we're gonna find here is, again, another really good point. You've got a really good flat top. You've got some good breaks off to the side, nice little tapering point. Good spot to go take a look at for sure. As we move a little bit further up, next thing we're gonna find is, again, another one of those really good ledges coming off of flat points. The other thing you have here is you've got this road bed that's down here. So it's right here. So you could fish around that road bed. This point looks pretty good. And then especially how this point's flat and then drops really fast. I like this spot right in here. All right, let's keep moving up, see what else we can find. As we get a little bit further up here, next thing that we've got this hump that comes out here again. It's zoomed in too much. Let me come back out here so you can kind of see a little bit better. You got a little 12-foot hump that's right here. You've got a road bed again coming out through here. You can see the road bed right in here. This hump looks very good. Definitely something you want to take a look at. Moving up here, same type thing. You've got another hump. Someone actually put a marker there. It just says generic info. I don't want to click it because it's magical information. No, I don't want to click it because it'll mess up the recording. So what we'll do here is we'll point it out. Obviously this looks good. It's got a nice good hump. It's more main lake. It's got a nice little break off the side of it. Something that I did not see before, hopefully we marked it on the Google Earth side, is right here. This means that there's rock right here. So if you're ever fishing this hump, come out here and do some side scanning and see if you can find the rock that's over here off of this point. This could be a nice little shallow point to go fish as well. We're gonna move on up, see what else we can find here. These points look awesome. I like how these points set up, but again, getting off the edges of them and finding where those breaks are, those can be productive areas as well. And, depending on the season, they can be way up here too. Like right now in April, come up here, fish up here. And then May comes, get a little bit further out, same type thing, just move in and move out. And then as we get out here, we're gonna see this one. I like this one. Of all the ones we've looked at, this is one of my favorites just because of where it sets up. Here's the main river channel. And out here, you've got this hump at 17 foot. I guarantee this is a community hole, but definitely a good spot to go look at. Community holes are community holes for a reason. Another good hump out here, 14 foot, good spot to look at. Nice little saddle going on in there as well. And then just a real good flat that's up here. I mean, if this is good right here, you can do it right here too, right? You can just basically, I could have put that point on either side or both sides really. But these 2 points look good. I like the breaks in here. I like how they come up, get a little bit of depth so it's not too shallow. Just like that spot right there. All right, let's move on out and let's go on down. We're gonna go into to this area. Let's just go ahead and try to finish this thing in one video. It might be a little bit longer, but hey, we'll get it all done in one video. How about that? All right, so as we come over here, we're gonna look again. We've got a nice little point that comes out. Just a good flat top point. It tapers off. It just looks good. It looks good to the eye, and someone put a fishing marker there saying that's a good spot to fish, so let's do it. Also out here, we've got another good long, shallow point. These things are juicy in the fall, but in the summer, they can be good out here as well. So just pay attention, do some side scanning, down scanning, see what you can find, but these are gonna be great looking offshore, high percentage areas. Also over here, another one of those points, just marking those flat points for you. Moving down here again, another just big, long, flat point that comes out. Those are just good points to fish. I mean, you can Carolina rig them, you can get up shallow and square bill them. You can just do so many things on these points, and there's almost always fish on these big, long points that come out. Then as we move down here, of course, we've got some good stuff that you could look at. You got a pretty good little point there, but nothing too crazy that I saw. Kind of like this point too. I could have marked every point on this lake. I like them all. But let's go ahead and just look at the higher percentage ones, at least the ones that I think are going to be higher percentage. This one here, obviously really good looking, shallow, good depth, 10, 12 foot, somewhere in there. We've also got good breaks out here off the outside edges of them. They extend out a little bit. This just looks like a really good one to go fish around. Also right here, another good little 10 foot. It's not huge, so it comes up into a smaller little area. It's 9 foot on the top, 10 foot. Looks great. Looks like a great place to go look at. And then also moving down here as we get a little bit further south in here. Whoa, I zoomed in too much. we've got another good little sharp break going on right in here. So this little, almost like a little rounded point, but then it just, boom, it just falls. And those are good looking spots to find fish, especially pre-spawners and post-spawners. Then we're gonna move up. You know, of course, didn't see too much in there. I'm gonna show you guys where I'm at in the back of this pocket. So as we, or I say pocket, but whatever you want to call it, cove. So then we move back here. We've also got a really good long tapering spot, right? Before they would go back into these bays to spawn. And so these are going to be good pre-spawn, post-spawn, also fall time, you know, type areas that are just going to be really higher percentage areas that you should be able to find some fish on. Also out here, this one's not as juicy, but it's got a marker on it. So I would say something's probably there, but I do like it. It does come out a little bit. I don't like it as much as the other ones. I like the ones that are a little bit tighter. But that one does look like it could produce some fish. You've got another one of those that are right over here too. This one's 10 foot. But notice the 10-foot section's a little bit more narrow, so I kind of like that as well. All right, so let's pull back out here and let's see what else we got. We got another good point. This is one of those points I was talking about. Notice how narrow, how much narrower that is. Those are the kind of things I like. I mean, the big, huge flat ones, I like those too. I think I just like them all, but I don't know. Just seems like when it's tighter like this, I have more success. So that's another good point right there. And then here, really good, just a little 11-foot like point or hump that comes out right here too. You could also, I mean, if these are good, you hit it here, you hit it here. You basically just pull back your contour map and you say, find me spots like that. And then you just start hammering away on a great pattern. So you can also go out here. This is another one of those really good points that come out, 20-foot. Right out here, this could be a great place to go fish at. Really good main lake area. Nice little hump there. You even got a nice little saddle going on right in there as well. And then as we come over here, we got a road bed. And so road beds and points are great places to fish. So here we go. We got the road bed. We got the point. Everything is there for you to go, hopefully, find you something. And then out here again, another good point. Look at this point. This one gets pretty narrow right in here where the 6-foot spot is, and then it breaks off pretty good, tapers out pretty long, but a really good point again to go look at. Then I'm going to pull back here a little bit more, show you guys where we're at. We're almost done. We've got about 5 or 6 more to talk about. Next spot's going to be right in here on this little pocket. This looks like a good little spawning pocket as well, but again, one of those really sharp break areas and a nice little flat top right in there, heading in to those little spawning bays. So post-spawn, pre-spawn, all kinds of good stuff there. Also huge. This one looks huge. This is kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Big, huge point, shallow point that comes out. You know, that just looks good as well, but also getting off the outside edges of these can be really good. And notice the fishing points that are right here. That's because that little point comes out pretty sharp, right? And then obviously you got a lot of people that are putting markers there. So again, those little tight little spots can be really good little spots to go find fish for sure. And then we're going to come down. We're almost done. We've got 2 more marks I wanted to show you, and that's going to be this long little point that comes out here. It creates these nice little humps that are out here. You've got one that's at 14 feet right here, and then you've got another one down here that's at about 17 or 18 feet. Good main lake points, and there's going to be current that's around these as well, so it's really going to depend on how you set up on them. But these are going to be good little spots. You get another one out here too at about 24 feet. So 3 little high spots right here just look like a really good spot to go check out. So that finishes up for Kerr Lake for the Palmer Point area. If you haven't yet, go check out our website, simplisticfishing.com. We have all of these waypoints plus the Google Earth waypoints. We take them, we put them in the format to where you can put them on an SD card, or we'll mail you the SD card, and you can put that into your graph and have all these waypoints for you. You also get the digital files emailed to you, so that way you can pull them up on Google Earth and you can really do some map studying, pattern studying, things like that. I'm telling you, it'll change the way you fish. Go check it out, simplisticfishing.com. And while you're at it, go check out our partner, Omnia Fishing. The link is in the description. Until next time, guys, I hope you catch